Welcome to the Fuck Around and Find Out podcast. We're your hosts, Ra, Emily and Christine. We're three women who have built and run our own businesses and are here to shoot the shit on everything about women in business and running your own business. Hey ladies!
Christine!
What up?
I feel like I was only just talking to you a minute ago.
I know. Time is flying by, or in the old Latin word, tempus fugit.
Oh, thank you for teaching me some Latin
You're
today.
absolutely welcome here.
Yeah.
But yes, so here we are, the three of us. We are in the DM podcast studio today.
Yep, we're fully professional.
We are so totally got our big girl fuck around pants on right now.
We're taking
We've got
photos
couches,
of everything.
We've got a backdrop. It's going to be splashed everywhere. It's just rainbows and unicorns, really.
Yep.
Yes.
Fucking great.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got our nice new T-shirts with
Courtesy
our,
of Juniper Road Gifting.
logos emblazoned across our left breast.
Yep. Love the emphasis on
all good.
breast.
That's
Yep.
right.
My favourite piece of chicken.
Yep, absolutely.
Breast is best.
Sure
That's what my husband says all the time.
I am a boob girl.
Yeah, tits are great. As evidenced by the photo I'm putting on our homepage where we're touching each other's tits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
we're supporting each other.
Mm-hmm. So
Breast
totally.
checking, it's fun.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
That's on brand.
So briefly, us.
Us.
You.
I'm Ra.
You're Ra.
Hi.
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 Ra.
I'm the purple-haired one.
You are the purple hair. I
Yeah.
do like your purple hair.
Thanks.
I really do. Yes.
Still trying to get it included on my business expenses.
I know. I
feel
mean,
like it should.
branding
It's part of
should
your
be.
brand.
I know. Maybe I'll just take this and show it to my accountant.
I should.
I
Get
feel
them
like
to do their
if they-
magic wand stuff.
Yeah, and if they just looked at your website,
Yeah,
just
that
right.
should be it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To show that it's definitely part of your brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And who are you,
Yes.
Chris?
Well, I am the currently red streaked, but it'll be zhooshing up next week when I go off to my fabulous hairdresser. And that would be Mitchell & Co Hair at Kalani Heights.
Who will be coming up on it really soon.
Absolutely. Coming
I
up
need to
very
book in my
soon.
hairdresser because we've had Em's hairdresser.
Yes.
Yours is coming.
Yeah,
I
she
need to
probably
book mine
should.
in.
Baby makes three.
Absolutely.
You should
Yeah.
probably get her on.
Yeah,
Yes.
my hairdresser is mad as a cut snake, so she'll fit in
love
perfectly.
that.
Yep.
We've
Love
had the
that.
lovely Mel from Salon Mail.
We certainly have.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, so I'm Chris.
Who are you?
I am half of Juniper Road with the gorgeous blonde sitting on my right, Emily.
I was about to say, no, it's your left. Oh, no.
No,
It's
it
my
is.
left.
We did that
Your
earlier.
left,
Yeah.
my right. Yes, I'm not in selfie mode here. But yes, so we are Juniper Road, operational shared services support for small to medium businesses, one-stop shop.
What was the word you used
Explosive
this
back
morning?
end
Peer
of
to peer
businesses.
something. What was the something you did it in your
End-to-end.
intro? End to end.
End to end.
End to end.
And I said that because I've been working on our website.
Oh, well
That's
then.
right.
I really liked it.
Yes,
That's why I put it on the website. It's much fancier than One Stop Shop.
Yeah. You're
End-to-end
refusing to put a
operational
picture of
functionality.
Loopmobile on your website, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I know. I
"Oh."
don't know what is there about that.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
Talk
So,
to the IT
yeah.
person.
Yeah, I will. Anyway, so yes, one half. Over
Yes.
to the other half. Em.
Yeah, me. Hi.
It's me.
I'm Emily.
I'm the
I like
problem.
long walks on the beach and pina coladas and lots of tattoos.
If I
Um,
like pina
Yeah, it's
colada.
actually my favorite cocktail.
Oh. We need to do a pina colada episode.
Had a fucking good one in
absolutely.
Hawaii. On my
Oh my god,
honeymoon.
fucking
So good.
Hawaii! I can't wait to
Oh,
go back.
yeah.
Such a good place. Yes, Juniper Road. That is what we do. I am the marketing side of. I mean, not that we have sides of anything,
No,
but I do
no.
marketing. That's what I do. I make things pretty and I build websites and we do all the things.
do.
I mean, if you've been listening to us, you would know who we are pretty
Yeah.
much by now. But we're operational support specialists.
Yeah,
And have you introduced yourself?
yeah. I said my name. That'll do.
Yeah, good. Well,
Yeah.
I get a bit.
I have
it's a bit
two
funny
cats.
repeating
I'm
it,
all
so-
about Hamilton
Yeah.
and planes. There we go.
I like creating things and I love tattoos and I like. Oh, I'm a big Simpsons fan.
Ah,
I've watched every single episode of Simpsons ever created more
Yep.
than once.
yeah, right.
It's my lovely, like, I want something in my ears, but I don't want to pay attention to it thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it's
your
like,
comfort.
it's
Yeah.
also amazing how much I've learned from The Simpsons as well.
Yes, I
You
know
know?
the songs you've learned.
Yeah, the things that I
apparently
keep
have come
relevant
from
by
that.
like pulling shit into it. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
But we are here today to talk about community, which
yeah,
is going to be, we've touched on a bit in a previous episode a few times, and actually a few episodes, the importance of community. So for anyone who has not been playing along, all three of us work in a remote/virtual capacity. I mean, we do see people in real life because we are real people. God, shock horror.
Really? Oh, thank God.
We do
Okay.
exist. But the community is actually how we've met, how we actually met each other.
Yep.
So, and the importance of that.
And how you two met as well,
Yes,
right?
or kind of, yeah. We
Yeah.
met through a mutual contracting gig.
We did.
But yes, community is a really important thing in business, no matter what your business is. So we've all met through, back in the day when we all would refer to ourselves as virtual assistants, we met through a virtual assistant community, which was designed for the fact that virtual means you work at home and you work alone.
Yeah.
So to help bridge
predominantly
that gap.
solo. Yeah.
Yeah. But we are now also part of other communities that are not just industry specific, which is fabulous for anyone in any business, really. So Women with Altitude is also where we're all part of.
Yep.
And yeah, do you want to
What other networks are you part of? You're part of Seed, aren't you?
We've got
Yep.
Seed.
virtually yours with the lovely Rosie?
Oh,
That
yes.
is correct. We're
Thrive
trying to sort of
Admin.
do a little bit with,
We're part of Thrive Admin with Marianne.
yeah.
Yep.
And then trying to get a little bit in with Spark, but that's a diary conflict sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to.
join
We're
those
part of the
sort of
group. We just haven't
things.
actually participated
Yeah,
yet because we
yeah.
need to get our shit together.
Yep.
And
Schedules, man, they're a
so
pain.
I've had a day in the week where what I usually did for a client is no longer happening. So there's going to be some other opportunities that we're going to trial that were always not able to happen because they're very day of the week specific.
Yep.
So there's another like the Hills District business women hoping to go in there and sort of
They have
go
like
hello
network cocktails.
Yeah, I
and
feel like that's a
everything.
huge.
it's a huge big thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, back
God, I wish my area had that.
yes.
What are
Yes.
you part of other than
Yeah.
Wawa?
So Women with Altitude, otherwise known as WAWA,
Yep.
or my plane ladies, as one of my mates says, because she hears altitude and thinks plane
Oh,
altitude.
of course, yes.
So she thinks they're my plane mates. So,
Yes.
but she also knows I'm a plane nerd, so that's where my
Yeah.
brain would go. Other networks that I'm part of, another big one that I'm part of is called the Freelance Jungle. So very similar to VAs.
Yep.
And I've been a Patreon supporter. So they've got a membership model, and I've been doing that for about 18 months.
Yep.
And even just the free version of that, their Facebook group is fantastic. And slightly biased because I'm currently doing a project with Beck, who was the founder
Yep.
and Chief Minky
Love it.
of the Freelance Jungle. But it's a really great and diverse group of people. Like lots of people who I'm like, oh, I recognize you from social media. Like you're big published advocate people, like, quite big names who are members of that network. I have stuck my toe into BNI.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Wasn't the right one for me.
No.
If you're in a trade, I think that's where it would really be beneficial because it's you're required to share details.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
bring in mates, and it's a bit like Avon for like networking
Gotcha.
is the way I see it.
Yeah.
For people who don't know what Avon is, I don't know how to explain it. Is there a modern
It's
version?
a multi-tiered, like
Multi-level
networking.
marketing
It's multi-level
sort of
marketing, yeah.
organisation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like Tupperware. It's like Intimo. It's like
Arbonne.
Yeah.
yes, Arbonne, Thermomix. Yep, all of that.
Nutramedics.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Nutramedics. God, I love Nutramedics in the day. I've also I'm a current member of BX.
Yes.
Which is it sits in between the community mindset of Women with Altitude, but more of the business mindset like
Of the
BNI.
BNI,
Yeah. And I think I live in an area that's not got great chapters.
Yep.
As in they don't suit me.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
not the norm for the area. But
It
I've
is
heard,
actually something we've talked about trying,
yeah.
and we probably will now.
I think, for you guys, I think it would be really beneficial.
Yeah.
And I've recommended quite a few people, especially out in that Hills area, go along to
Yes.
some of the Hills chapters.
Yes.
I just find in my area it's seriously lacking in good
Those that
networking.
don't know, Rise in the Inner West.
Oh yeah, I'm in the inner west, right under the flight path in Sydney.
Yeah.
And despite being such a huge creative zone, there doesn't seem to be
Interesting.
any
though,
big
isn't
networks
it?
anyway. Yeah, I think there are small networks, but nothing. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
lots of industry specific, like vegan restaurants and
Yes.
or photography or whatever. So
Yes.
those sorts of things. But yeah, and I've experimented with a few other networks. Like there's the OWN, I forget what it stands for, something Women's Network. Not Origin, that's the energy company.
Yep.
And a couple of others that I've done online, and they're quite nice. It's just the timetable doesn't match.
No.
And also I have finite
Some of them-
resources in terms of money and time.
Yeah, and some of them
Yes.
do, like BI especially, like they do require a heavy time commitment.
Oh yeah, BNI definitely does.
And it's sometimes that's really hard to keep up
If
with.
you're scaling your business, BNI 100% is the way to go.
Mm.
Because if you've got the staff to back you up
Yeah, and that's
to fill
the
in that
key,
gap,
really.
if it's you, it's
if you're
hard.
a solopreneur, if
Yep.
you're a very small micro business, it's really difficult. And
Yeah,
it's
it
that
really
balancing out. You've got to spend money to make money. You've got to network to find people who are going to
Yep.
spend money in your biz, but you've also still got to be, spinning and
Yeah.
making the product, the service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it depends on what people's goals are for networking as well. And I broke a few people's heads when I met them at BX Networking because I said, I'm actually not here to sell.
Mm.
Like if I do, great.
Yeah.
But I
That's
was there to
not-
find mates. Like,
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
networking, I found you guys,
absolutely.
and there's
Yeah.
other people, like lots of them
Yes.
who we even saw earlier today. It's those are the reasons that I started getting into networking.
But it's really important piece. Like I know when we walked into our first Women with Altitude meeting, and it felt very quickly like, oh yeah, no, we're not going to find clients here. That was our initial thing. But then after going to a couple of the different chapters, you go, oh yeah, no, this is good. We're going to find some like-minded people and connections. And that became the important piece. Now, yes, we have actually got a couple of clients out of that community, but it wasn't the motivation.
Yeah.
And having clients actually has just reinforced the connection piece, the community piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whereas if you're a Tyler, Women with Altitude's not the network for you.
No, and I think it's also I find something like, again, which has put me off a bit with BNI. I can't say I've been to one, so I can't speak to it from that perspective. But I personally hate people that you can tell immediately are trying to sell to you. I don't want that. I don't want to feel like I'm pressured into doing anything. I'd rather meet someone and file that away for later, being like, okay, you know that. Like, I'd rather expand my network of connections.
Yeah.
So what
just
I do
grab the
have
business
things,
card and add it to the box of things you can look at down the track.
Don't kind of put me your hardcore sales press. Like, if I was interested in whatever service that is, I'd come to you anyway. Like, or I'd seek you out. I wouldn't be waiting for someone to sell me.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part I think you get with networking. There's a bit of a hit and a miss sometimes with that. Like it can be a bit.
And sometimes it's just the chapter. Like it's just that particular location. I've had more luck with some online chapters versus face-to-face chapters or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you just never know what's going to come of it.
No, you don't, and you just got to give it a good shot.
Yeah.
And a funny thing happened to me when my very first networking event I went to, and I was really quite nervous because in my career, my former career of event management within the hotel hospitality industry, and you'd have to do sales things. The hotel guests would be invited by the general manager, and you would have to go as a manager within the events team, and somebody had to go to it. It was a weekly event, and, you were on roster for it, and chatting to people that, I'd never met, that, all of that sort of stuff. And it was just like, besides being really quite boring, I was there selling somebody else's product. I know it was my workplace, but it was somebody else's product.
Yeah.
And so I had that kind of like history and mindset for my very first networking event. But it was just, wow, such a difference I felt in myself immediately going in, because I was there just talking and meeting people and just talking about their businesses and my business, because they asked me about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's how you look at that. How are you going to talk? If you're going in there to find a client and make a sale, I don't think you're going to have a great experience. And nobody wants to somebody else to come up to them and then just immediately start talking about themselves. So, it's
there's too much
how you
arrogance in
work,
that.
though.
Yeah.
There is. And so it's how you, work the room and engage with people makes it a much better experience that turns it into something really
And I think one thing
beneficial.
Women with Altitude does do well is that it is about everyone. Like, we all just actually came from one today.
Yep.
And it's like we went through, everyone got to stand up and introduce themselves,
Yep.
and it gives you the opportunity to work on your elevator pitch. So
Absolutely.
you have
that was one of the real...
It's
Yep.
a benefit, because I still fucking suck at it, clearly. If anyone listens to any of these, will hear me pass over
to
every
minute
time.
3 of the episode today. Yeah.
Where Emily's passed the buck to Christine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it gives you that opportunity to say your piece, and you I know that I sit there and listen and go, okay, yep, she might be with a business that is more aligned to what our business services. Definitely no, not for her, this, that.
Yep.
So it kind of gives you an idea. And we have had experiences at the different chapters, and we found one of the other chapters where you actually sat there and went, wow, okay, this is a nice distribution of people, different to the other chapters.
Yeah.
These guys are probably more our target market if we were.
Yeah.
And then they also give you the opportunity to, Women with Attitudes let us present a few times, which is fucking great, because it's been good experience under our belt, and also just to build the confidence and stuff up.
The cunt.
Yes.
Not quite what I meant to say.
I mean, you've already got one of those, babe.
But and that is quite nice too, because then it's like a bit of I like to sell with education,
Yeah.
and that to me is the only
It's
way
empowering
you should do
people.
it. Yeah. And it's the best way to then people also get to see that you actually know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
And you actually talk the talk, you walk the walk and talk the talk, and you can show off your skill set without having to worry about, being fake. And you're more legitimate and more authentic that way.
Yep.
And I do like that about that networking group. It's really good to do it. And it's also really open. I've got a beautiful friend who currently works full time and wants to start her own side hustle, and I've managed to get her to come to the conference, which is fabulous that we've got, that we've probably done by the time this episode goes live.
Yeah, possibly.
But
or we're shitting bricks about it.
yeah, one of the two.
Yep.
And she was like, oh no, it's far too businessy. Like, people are far too advanced in their business.
Yeah.
I'm like, but no, don't let that stop you. Like, come. There are people that either that still work corporately that come. Like, come and meet some people, get your connections up, and then you'll use the confidence you'll get off that is like next
And
level.
just learning from being around other people and just absorb their energy and even you work out how you don't want to operate.
Yeah, exactly.
If there's someone's vibe that you're like, yeah, no, that's not me.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there. I've done some contract work with people that I'm like, I fundamentally take issue to how you're running your business.
Yeah.
Like, this is not how it should be done.
Yeah.
And I'm gobsmacked that you're still getting away with running a business like this. There's been enough of that. And
mate, that's like 90% of the Instagram accounts I follow. And I'm just like,
horrible.
oh my God, you are so faking it.
Yeah. And I think that's, that's the key. It's
I
the
know
authenticity.
there's a lot of fake it till you make it, but sometimes it's like that's too much fake it.
Like you can fake a screenshot of all sorts of things. Like, I can make
exactly.
you 6 figures and here's my client's stats. And I'm like,
Oh, fuck, don't even get me started on the 6 figures.
My
Yep.
God,
It's my biggest pet hate.
Yeah.
It's not real. And, it's about the reality of it all. And I think that's the nice part about Women with Altitude. It is real. And, the Seed VA group that we're part of is for virtual assistants, as is Virtually Yours with the lovely Rosie. But they are very great communities for people that are often very remote and don't have people to talk to every day, and they have created an environment where people can stay connected. And there are some very strong friendships that have come out of it.
Yeah.
And Seed ran a retreat earlier this year that I was half dead with and fucking pneumonia and had to miss,
But
which
Chris
was
loved the shit
devastating.
out of
But
it,
Chris went and
He was
said,
glowing afterwards.
we will go next year as well.
Yep.
So I can fucking actually go.
Yeah.
But we will go next year. And it was really nice. I mean, Chris was raving about it when she came back. So it's great that they even throw those opportunities in so people can meet properly as well. And that's why, a lot of the motivation behind our conference is to invite everyone who listens, anyone that, is interested to come and see and meet us in person if they haven't already met us in person.
Yeah.
Because so many people have met us in person. And listen to some really talented people in their industries and learn something.
Yeah.
Or meet people that can help you down the track.
Yep.
And all in all, just don't feel awkward or uncomfortable. Just have a bit of fun, you
Yeah.
know? Like, it's going to be fun and it's going to be colourful and we're all going to be fucking exhausted by the end of it.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's going to
can't
be
wait. It's gonna be so much
like,
fun.
absolutely amazing. Like,
Yep.
it's so good. And they're the reasons why people put on stuff like this, for connections.
Yep. And especially now that so many people are working from home or just operate, remotely like what we do a lot of the time, you're isolated.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so you
It's
need to
very
find your community,
isolating.
which is
Yeah.
legitimately why I started the networking.
Yep.
It wasn't because I did need to make money, but I needed
Oh, yeah,
to
that
find
thing.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
thing that's funding everything. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, how else am I going to buy tickets to Hamilton? But have I mentioned it's back in Sydney? Join
Only
my
a few
Facebook group
times.
of 11,500 people.
No, but I actually reckon you need to explain that properly because I think that's something that's really impressive and you don't give yourself enough credit for.
For
Your Facebook group.
Oh, for Hamilton?
Yes, right.
So Ra created,
Absolutely.
right? You
Facebook group.
created a Facebook group
Yep.
for
several years before it came
Hamilton
to Australia. Yep.
with her massive like obsession with it and tell everyone how it's grown.
Yeah, so it started with 6 people who were all the people I worked with at the time because we all were obsessed with Hamilton. And created the Facebook group before I'd even seen it. After creating the group, I'd seen it, then went to see it in London twice. And then it, was finally announced that it was coming to Australia, came to Australia. So over I think it's 8 years now that I've had the group. 11,500 members.
That's massive.
That's a
Like,
huge community.
From 6 to 11,500.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook groups are not hard. Are not easy to manage.
Oh, God, no.
Like, they're not easy to manage. So
Correct.
you got that's
And I'm a
hats off.
hard ass bitch. Like I've had people make complaints about the way I operate it, but I operate it with the
iron fist.
iron fist, yes. However, it's because people are being dicks. Like, don't act like this is Twitter. And if you've got something negative to say, because in my Facebook group, like I'm very lucky, I've got the producers.
Yep.
I've got advertisers.
Wow.
Well, like the people who
Yeah.
are doing the marketing and the advertising.
The
I've
fact
got
that you
cast,
have those
crew.
people that have actually joined this group
Yeah.
is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
From starting
Like,
it with 6 people.
So fucking lucky. And to like the people who like even agencies that they recruit
Yes.
as part of the production,
Yep.
they are in there. I've got the cast in there. I've got family members. I've become mates with parents of the cast who like even at the opening night a couple of weeks ago
Yep.
found the mum of one of the cast members in like I heard her name being called. I was like, Donna! Oh my God, I've been messaging you for years because I run the group as if this whole production is like my family.
Yes.
Like I want people to be positive and
Yes.
treat it with the love and the
Yeah.
respect that it deserves
Yeah.
because any artist deserves that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anyone does any comparisons, like I preferred this person over that person, fuck off.
Up your bum.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Up your bum, literally. And so that got me some enemies and people trying to get me reported to the guy who wrote Hamilton. Like, fuck off.
Oh my God.
Which is fair. Like, fine, feedback, whatever. But because of the aggressively positive way that I wanted the group to evolve, it got me a lot of attention with the powers that be who have brought Hamilton to Australia. So, yeah, it's very surreal to have the guy whose name's at the top of the,
Yeah. Top billing.
top billing
Yep.
and, and be, recognised as having that community. And, yeah, I've been a very lucky and very emotional Ra in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because getting to sit front row for opening night and, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, getting to fly around the
very
country
much
for that
looking
thing.
forward to going and
Yes, group
seeing it.
excursion. Oh my God, we should do an
Yeah.
episode from the back of the theatre.
How cool would that
Oh, yes, especially because I keep telling you, I've got the seats that are closest to the ice
be?
cream shop for interval.
Yes, no, you've
Yeah.
told us
That's
we've
the most,
got
and it's also
awesome seats.
Messina, not just an ice cream shop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Mhm.
But
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
so
really
community,
important. Like,
yeah.
and so you grew a community. You started and grew, and you maintain. But it's important. Like members of a community have a responsibility. It might not
Yep.
be a written responsibility, but I think if you get something out of a community, put something back in so somebody else can get benefit from
Yeah.
that as well. Don't be. And there's plenty of time and opportunity to sit there and just listen and watch, read and not participate. And that's fine if your first entering into a community because you don't often feel like there's that level of imposter syndrome happening when you first join one, so you don't want to be heard, but there comes a time where you need to add value back to your community. In the instance of your Hamilton one, but it's like anything, there are rules, obey them, and
I'm not such a cunt that I assume that they're going to know absolutely everything. Like, I run things in a certain way, and but if there are the repeat offenders,
Facebook's also got a system in place to manage that with Facebook groups as well.
Yeah,
but it's also, it actually scares me how often people forget that you're just being a straight up dickhead. Like, keyboard warriors is such a real thing. The amount of some of the Facebook groups I manage for some clients. I'm getting a lot of racial shit going on at the moment, and it's just not needed.
And people who are being keyboard warriors for things that they
don't understand.
Yeah, and things that they're saying, like, I've had a client who was getting ragged on for months from someone who just kept commenting on every post going, "You're not doing an acknowledgement of country. Where's your acknowledgement of country?"
Yep.
And they had been. And it was just that this person hadn't listened.
Yep.
But had, decided that was
going to be his rant.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I cannot tell you, when I finally had enough and I, in my politest brand voice, said, "Hello." And I did it publicly because, but I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but we have had an acknowledgement of country on all platforms for at least X months."
Yes.
And then, thankfully they backed down. But
sometimes I think you need to do it in a public way, because it also kind of sets a standard for other people that might be lurking. So there's a lot of so there's two versions of community, right? We're talking about communities in person with all the networking groups. There's also online communities, and a lot of them are run via platforms like Facebook.
Yep.
Or LinkedIn has its set of groups that you can be part of on LinkedIn as well. But like, Facebook groups are a bit of a beast.
Yeah.
And there's people that, we're all self-confessed lurkers in groups.
Yeah.
I'm in so many of them by the nature of what I do, but also for things that I like, crafting and all that stuff that I without a doubt lurk in.
Yeah.
The algorithms come into play in a group as well. Engagement is so important.
Yeah.
And with an 11,500 K group, whatever it is, the algorithms are so fucking important for that one.
Yeah.
Because otherwise no one's going to be seeing anything.
Yeah.
And it's also where a lot of this kind of bullshit happens. But and for anyone that's listening that is in an online group, for those of people that run these groups, it's so important that you like, comment, and engage.
Yep.
Because the group's
even if it's an emoji in a comment,
anything. The group's success is hindered on its members actually engaging in the group.
Yeah.
And if the groups become dead in the water, then people just, it's too much work to try and manage it.
Absolutely.
So if you are part of an online group, make sure you do participate as best you can, or every now and then, even if it's like Ross said, just a comment or a like or a little thumbs up, whatever it is.
It's funny you mentioned that, because this week I've been actively putting more time into going through my Facebook feed and regaming the algorithm and engaging with certain groups and all of that.
Yeah.
And like, it's started to take effect basically immediately. Like, the algorithms are smart. It's like the same as when I scroll through TikTok. It knows when I'm not looking.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, I know it's one of the, but it's a good thing. You can sit on the couch and just have a bit of a fiddle on your phone and, look at a Facebook group and just make some comments and stuff in there too. But it's so hard for us that have to manage and run these groups.
Yeah,
if there's no
it's a
engagement.
nightmare. And especially if it's part of a business model that's trying to use that as a lead magnet.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Very much so.
Incredibly so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people who, like, most of the Facebook groups that I'm in, if there's a paid model, they're not getting much.
No.
And it's just, and that these are people who put quality product into their group.
Yeah.
And it's not just them like me, just like pissing people off out of the group if they're breaking the rules or whatever, but they're actually providing fucking great content. Like, I think I showed you one of the workbooks not long ago from the Freelance Jungle.
Yes, you did.
And it's a fucking behemoth. Like, Becca's put together something that that could be sold for like
Yes.
$100.
Yeah, easily.
You know,
It's a fabulous resource.
massive resource, and like, and it's just made available to people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just breaks my heart when I see that it doesn't get that much engagement
No.
I
for
know.
that sort of stuff.
You
And
it
I know
doesn't- it
life
doesn't
gets in the
take
way.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but it's either whip out your MasterCard to pay for it,
Yeah.
or get your thumb and finger out and like and comment and share.
Because those communities, and there are like people who are on social, like influencers and whatever, who will donate me a coffee and all of those sorts of things. If you see it as that, it's me breaking the equipment here, but it's just your way that you can give back and sort of share the love, and which goes back to almost sort of when we were talking very early episode about being paid and paying properly.
Yes.
It's the microtransactions
That's
that can
right.
make a big difference.
And I mean,
Huge
they say
difference.
to support small businesses, it's as simple as a like, share, and a follow.
Oh,
or
yeah.
a comment.
Yeah.
Just liking on social media can do a world of good because it pushes that stuff to like people you follow. Like it broadens the net.
Yep.
Which is what we all need, and it's hard for those of us that do social media management as part of our jobs to help engage other, like, our clients' pages, because after a while there's only so many posts that can just be like
I
you
got
and I
busted.
pray,
How funny is
you
this?
know?
Yesterday I got busted. I posted a reel on behalf of a client.
Yep.
And then, which I'll do sometimes, go into one of my personal accounts, because I've got like 6 accounts logged in on my phone. And just as my personal account, went in and commented and did a like and whatever. And then a mate of mine who knows that they're my client busted me. And in the comments she's gone, "Oh, you weren't involved with this at all, were you?" And I was like, "Oh, damn it."
Shut up, man.
So
Shut
funny.
up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thanks for the
But
engagement.
she knows them as well as I know them.
Yeah.
So she's like, it's like,
So
she
it's
gets
kind
it.
of okay in insider sort of
Yeah,
thing.
but God, it was
you've
funny.
Got to start. You've got to start.
Have you
I
noticed
mean,
that I've been doing that on our
Oh
socials?
yes, and I laugh so hard because
I
I'll be
go
1
and
minute
comment as me.
you being like, "I'm so excited," and like from my other account, I'm still so excited.
And there was one that I did that I was like, "Now, Ra, fuck off and go and get that work done. Like, stop
I
going
was
around
like,
on the internet."
she's having inner monologue with
Yeah.
herself over these accounts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you can create your own community apparently
can,
by commenting
absolutely.
on your multiple,
Yeah. Or in your head.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's that as well.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
all
so I
have
think
multiple communities in our heads.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So for anyone who's looking for a community,
There's a lot
Just
of really good
look.
ones out there.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a virtual assistant, there's shit tons.
Yeah.
There's very area specific ones. There's also that are countrywide. If you're not in that kind of world or any other industry, there are the networking groups that are designed to help you build your business. Or
Yep.
there's places like Women with Altitude that are just great for a connection piece and
Yep.
get to know people and just find yourself a bit of a community.
Yep. Like there's even networks. A mate of mine who I met through different networking,
Yes.
and she's a vegan food photographer.
Yes.
Like that's her jam. And there's like restaurant networking, and there's vegan industry.
Maybe we need to
networking.
start a fuck around and find out podcast network.
Hey.
Community Facebook page.
Hey.
A group, sorry. We have one of those already.
Yes.
We have a Facebook page.
Yes.
But maybe we need to start
a group.
well, you know, Seed, just to reference them.
Yes.
Seed have their select people that are called, select because it's a membership base, but the inner circle.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
we should start the inner
Buy us a
fucks.
coffee. No,
Yeah.
buy Emma a pina colada. Now that we know that you like
Yeah.
pina coladas, and
Yes.
We could
walks
call
in
it
the
the
rain.
Emily's Tattoo Fund.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
but-
absolutely. But it is.
yeah.
It's about testing it out, and for some of us and other people, you can find success fairly quickly. You can find your
Yeah.
vibe and your community, and for other people, it takes a couple of attempts. But you've got to form a habit, and habits take time.
Yep.
And it's just the same with like networking until you find your
You
vibe,
find
your
one that will
people,
suit.
and the ones that you'll just want to come back because you feel like you're coming back home.
And it's also okay if you outgrow a network or a
Oh,
community as well.
yes.
Yeah. Like if you feel
Yes.
like you've kind of
Yeah.
been there and done that
Yeah.
and you have outgrown it, that's so fine because it was right for you at that time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep,
And that is
exactly.
key.
So seriously,
We will put a
just
list of
give it a go.
everything in
Yeah.
our episode.
And if
notes.
you want to join a network that we build,
I know, we'll put a sneaky link.
send us a
somewhere
text.
too.
Yeah, click the link in the show
Absolutely.
notes.
Yeah.
Send us a
Yeah.
text.
That's
You're
true.
just going to get spammed with cat
That
stuff.
memes. Oh,
'cause
yeah.
Oh my God.
That's all
I
Em and I send each
That's
other.
all I send Ra on Instagram is all the fucking cat stuff.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, Chris,
God.
you get saved from that. Yeah.
I do. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
No,
You're
no.
a lucky.
You
Yeah.
can spam me with anything to do with pets and fur babies.
Yeah.
et
Speaking
cetera,
of, we
et
need to stop
cetera.
recording and look out for
Yep.
Ruby outside.
Yes, we need to do that. So
Studio
really,
dog.
I think then that must be the
End
it for
of-
today's episode.
Yes.
So thank you to the DM podcast studio in Woolloomooloo. Hope everyone can pronounce and spell that word.
No, I can't.
No.
No. But it's been great.
Lulu,
Thanks,
Lulu,
Ra.
Lulu.
Thanks, Em. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, ball boys.
You just think
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thanked
thank
myself.
myself.
Love it.
I'd like to
Absolutely.
thank myself for
Always
being so
fun.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And if
That's
people know
the
that's
Snoop Dogg one, right?
know that I'm quoting Fame the musical now.
Oh, but Snoop Dogg got up there and there was
Oh,
the
did
whole
he?
clip of him being like, and I'd like to thank myself.
Yeah.
And then went on and I was like, bro,
I did thank
baller.
myself at the Altitude Awards last year when I won.
Fucking
Good
right,
on you.
that's
Well,
how
you
should
did the
do
hard
it.
work.
Yeah.
We will thank ourselves when we win this
Yeah,
year.
that's right.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
listening to
listening,
today's
gang.
episode. And
Peace out.
leave us a review and share, like, and subscribe and share it
Subscribe.
with your tribe.
Love it. Love you,
Oh, I like the
girls.
tribe part.
Oh,
Nice
tribe.
throw in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my bad high
The
side.
quest called tribe. Yeah. Amazing.